Oh, there we go. Hey everyone, hopefully you can hear me okay. Hopefully the audio is fine and everything's working. Just let me know in chat if everything seems all right. Should be okay, we should be live, should be able to hear me. Hey Nick, welcome. We'll be doing a print or two on the SecKit, chatting about the SecKit. Hey Martin, hey Hacks, welcome. Hey Killa Prince, welcome, thank you. No worries. Hey Awake, welcome. Awesome, thanks Robert. Yeah, this is just going to be a chill, like probably hour stream. I haven't done one in a little while. I got sick and tired of seeing my SecKit on the floor of my office, so I just basically quickly built it over the weekend, over last weekend, and have been just dialing it in so I can kind of do some videos on it and get it out the door. It's turned out to be a really cool printer. Hey Zombie, welcome. Hey Brian, welcome. I actually am quite happy with the SecKit, but it's time for me to finish up a little bit of content on it and get it out the door. I have too many printers, and this has been sitting in my office disassembled for months. So I definitely wanted to just finish it off. I got all the parts except for the PEI, of course. That's why I'm printing on tape. The PEI won't be here till Monday. And then, yeah, I'm going to sell it off. It'll go to its new home, and then I can start working on other projects and stuff like that. So Fortress took a little bit of a back seat this week as I got this build all ready to go, but I definitely wanted to get this thing ready and get it printing and make sure it's good for the next owner kind of thing. So if anyone doesn't know, this is I didn't actually buy the enclosure either. This is just kind of like the bare bones kit. I didn't get any of the panels, of course. It comes with these rear and bottom panels, which is really neat. But I didn't get any enclosure panels. I didn't get the chamber heater with this. I don't print ABS or ASA for the most part. And if I do, I have my Bamboo Labs X1C for that. The name of this printer is the SecKit Cube. It's a 200 by 200 printer. It's built mostly out of 304 stainless steel. It's quite a pretty good bang for buck, I would say. This is about $1,100 as you see it here, essentially, without the electronics. With a Monster MK8 board and a hot end and like a BMG clone, it's around the price of a $250 Formbot Trident kit. And like I say, this is all metal. It's all stainless steel, and there's some aluminum X motion parts. So I've always wanted to build a SecKit, and SecKit is SecKit. They have quite a bit of different designs. Yeah, there's a tank, which is the big brother to this, and then the SecKit Go, which I think was the first one. There's been obviously some iterations and things like that, but yeah, I'll show you, Killa, I'll show you the electronics maybe when I power the printer off and I can flip it around. It's of course Rollahan wiring, so it's a little bit messy, but it's not too bad. So it comes with a Meanwell 200 watt power supply in the bottom, a SSR, it comes with a terminal block, all the wiring, all that kind of stuff. It's definitely it's not a build for beginners. It's definitely a more involved assembly, there's a lot of M4 bolts and nuts, and you have to make sure everything's really aligned well. The frame is probably the most difficult part to assemble, being you have to make sure that everything's in the right spot and it's at the right layer, because there's multiple layers of steel that go on top of each other to make the frame. So what I'm gonna, well, let's just get it printing here while we're chatting. Yeah, the Belted Z, what's really cool about the Belted Z is it uses planetary gear NEMA motors, which I didn't even know about them when I ordered this. I didn't know it used it when I ordered this printer. It was a really cool surprise, and that's why I built this printer, is I wanted to learn more about other designs and different things. So this has 3 NEMA 11 motors in the bottom that use Belted Z, and it's actually really a great solution. The bed doesn't fall when it's not powered. They're very accurate, and they're not too much more money. So probably the perfect solution for a Belted Z. So I'm just going to open up Orca Slicer here, and I am going to get a Benchy started. This printer is definitely meant for ABS and ASA and stuff like that. The part cooling, the layer cooling is not the greatest stock. You could, of course, upgrade that, but it's not too bad. But it's definitely, it seems like it's primarily geared to printing the ABS and ASA and stuff like that. But it's totally fine for PLA if you take the layer time, increase the layer time a little bit. So my layer time right now I think is 7 seconds. Just it has one 40-20 fan, that's all. It would be much better if it was a like dual 50-15s or something like that. It would be cool to mod some tool heads for this and whatnot, but I have my own printers and stuff that I'm doing the CAD work on and building and stuff like that. So other cool thing about this printer is there's carbon fiber parts. So the whole X carriage is carbon fiber. So all of these plates here, there's 2 plates, they're all carbon fiber. The actual plates that attach the linear rails are carbon fiber as well. You can see them right here under here. They're carbon fiber plates. So honestly, like I say, for $1,100 Canadian, this is stainless steel, aluminum, and carbon fiber. Like, the value of this printer is really, really nice. Comes with all the linear rails, of course. It comes with these composite panels, which are aluminum for the back and bottom. You can get the enclosure with this. You can get all sorts of different kind of add-ons. You can get high wind rails for this printer. It comes with closed loop stepper motors as well. You can see the little board here in the top. Sorry for blocking the camera there, but there's closed loop steppers for X and Y. They're crazy quiet, very, very low vibration. This printer is butter smooth, and that's due to the actual closed loop steppers. So it's just doing tramming, and it's going to do, or it's doing a homing, and it's going to do a Z-tilt really quickly. The gear reduction stepper motors also work very well for Z-tilt. It almost never gets out of skew. Once it's set, they hold their place well enough that it does one round of Z-tilt and it's done. It's quite nice, actually. So I really do like the gear reduction steppers. I probably, if I would have known, I probably would have spec'd them out for Simple Core MK1. Gear reduction steppers would basically make everything a little bit simpler and easier to do. So Nick, actually the gear or the closed loop steppers are actually slightly modified by Ernest, who runs SecKit. He actually removed the plastic spacers for the circuit boards and their metal washers. So they would be fine in a normal, I probably wouldn't run a chamber heater to get it to like crazy temperatures, but they would totally be fine with 50 or 60 degree like normal enclosed like ABS printing. If you were printing something crazy like Peak or something like that, then yeah, maybe you'd want to get some high temp steppers for sure. But they should be totally fine for ASA and ABS, just standard enclosed printer temps. Yeah, 9mm belts for this printer. Everything is very beefy and robust. You can see like the actual Z ledge here. They're just bent stainless steel plates that actually hold the bed. It's really, really nice. The printer, like I say, is very quiet. It's super smooth. All the parts came, they're very high quality. I only had one real annoyance with this printer, and that is the end stops. I don't think they're genuine Omron end stops, which I don't care from a quality standpoint that they're not Omrons. The most annoying part about it was they didn't have the right hole size. So the end stops were like a cheap Omron clone as far as I can tell, and the holes used to mount them are not M2, they were smaller. So it was super difficult to attach the actual end stops because the holes were too small. I have genuine Omron here that I use for my clicky probes, and the holes are M2. The M2 bolts slide in the holes perfectly fine. And I bought them from DigiKey. They're genuine Omrons. The ones, it was such a pain to get the end stops. So that's probably only the feedback I would maybe make to Ernest, the owner, is maybe source some different end stops, because the end stops that are included are not great. Functionally they're fine. They're only used for X and Y. It's not like the end of the world, but mounting them was a nightmare. So Matthew, the assembly instructions are actually not bad. I think they've evolved, at least for the cube, the cube that I have. I didn't really have too many issues. There was a couple places where there was like, okay, what nut do I use here? But for the most part, it was very logical, and common sense definitely helped out. The frame is the most difficult part to assemble, just because some pieces go on the inside of the frame, some pieces overlap on the outside, that kind of thing, but not too bad at all. Yeah, Brian, that's the very first time I had a SecKit Go. I seen the SecKit Go on Teaching Tech, and I wanted one ever since. I thought it was like such an amazing printer, and at the time that was like the best printer he'd ever like tested. The benchies that he got were flawless on it, and I wanted one ever since. And then I decided to just order a small one. The Cube. I prefer smaller printers. I don't need like a 300 by 300 printer. Mostly I print mechanical parts and things like that, so I don't need anything big. My Bamboo Lab X1 is the biggest printer I currently own, which is 250 by 250, and that's plenty. I don't really need anything bigger than that. So I wanted a nice little compact printer, and I had plans on keeping this printer alongside my X1. Like, this was going to be my other workhorse. But I ordered a Crowdy K1. It's going to be here soon, and I ordered the Kingroon Core XY printer. That's going to be here soon as well. So those are both enclosed. And if I do have to print ABS, like if I'm doing a new build or something like that, and I want to test out ABS fitment and stuff like that, I'm going to just use my Bamboo printer or my K1 or whatever. So this printer doesn't serve a lot of purpose. I do have my Defiant printer right behind me, which is 250 by 252, and it's a cross gantry PLA printer. If I need to print PLA fast, it's going to be printed on my Defiant. Yeah, 180, I love 180 by 180 printers. I think it's honestly the best size printer, period. After that, the 220 by 220 Ender style, and my next ground up design coming this year is going to focus on that size, 220 by 220. I think that's a really great size for printers. I just don't print like cosplay stuff. I don't print helmets. I don't print large stuff. I don't need anything bigger than 250 really. And again, a lot of my stuff is under 180 millimeters. Yeah, and certainly some people definitely need the larger, like Voron 2.4 is like with the huge 350 bed. If you're printing batch parts, like a lot of them, for a business that makes sense certainly. But for like a YouTube creator like me and just assembling smaller printers, I don't need anything crazy. So this also is an AC bed, heats up really fast, and I did modify the fan duct on this printer. I am using a drop effect XG hot end, which is really, really nice. I really like it. It's expensive. It's about $100 Canadian, but flows really well so far, and it's very compact. Yeah, Matthew, the biggest request I get for any of my printers is they want a printer that fits an Ender 3 bed. The Ender 3 size is still the absolute most common, like, build area size. Everyone wants Core XY printers that are the size of an Ender, 220 by 220. Hey Manjaro, welcome. But yeah, this printer, honestly, like, and I'm sure it's not coming over on the mic on the live stream, but it's ultra smooth and it prints very well. And my table, of course, is shaking like crazy. So I believe, Nick, the drop effect is M4. I think it does have a unique hot end or a nozzle size for the better temperature gradients. Yeah, I do like large deltas. The one that, like the Phoenix Delta, was my first DIY design that I sold to Mitsubishi on the Discord, and honestly, it was hilarious. I almost never even came close to the build size on that thing. It was like ridiculous, like 340 by 340 by like 450. It was insane. Yeah, Thor, I'm actually going to, I think I'm going to upgrade my King Rune with the Bamboo Labs hot end. I want to definitely do some modifications to the King Rune for sure. The Bamboo Labs ceramic hot end is the absolute cheapest bang for buck hot end you can buy. I can get those for $30 in Canada, and they have a Canadian warehouse. Shipping is insanely fast, and they're $30. So a lot of my designs are going to use that. But a lot of my designs coming out in the future are going to use the Eva toolhead. So you don't have to use the Bamboo hot end if you don't want to, if you use my printers, but it's the best bang for buck, period. Oh, this printer is very heavy. It does not look big. It's a little bit smaller, or yeah, it's a little bit smaller than the X1, and it's so heavy. It's insane. Yeah. I definitely should have made the Phoenix with a 2040 frame in hindsight. Lessons learned. Griff Gear, it is the King Rune. I don't even remember the name of it. Here, let me see if I can find it. So I ordered the King Rune, their new Core XY, the KLP1. Let me see if I can post a link to it. It's Clipper, out of the box. King Rune, I've had a couple of their printers before. It's really cool. And it's cheap. It's a great buy. Yeah, the flow on the Bamboo hot end is excellent. Like, more than enough for most people. Yeah, KLP1. As soon as I seen it, it was $500 Canadian to my door. It's awesome. I know there might be some quality issues some people are reporting, but yeah, I definitely want to mod it and put on like the Bamboo hot end and do some other stuff with it for sure. It's gonna take forever to get here. It's like I'm not gonna get it till like late June, but I guess it's like a month away or something like that. Awesome, Matthew. Yes, I'm very excited to start on the Rook 180 MK1 version. You're gonna see a lot of videos on that coming up. Once Fortress is complete, yeah, all my attention is going to MK1. I didn't think Fortress was going to take this long, but I wanted to make it even better, so that's why it's taken a little bit longer. What do you think about polar printers? I think they're really cool. The baby bear is really awesome. I do want to build a baby bear, and I do have like a polar design like in the back burner. I think they're really neat. And the creator of the baby bear, he actually has a website and a tool where you can convert like Cartesian kinematics to polar, so you can use Clipper. So you can actually build a polar printer, tell Clipper that it's just Cartesian, and then convert your G code over, which I was waiting for, honestly, because Clipper doesn't support. Clipper supports polar printers, but there's still some bugs and stuff like that, because polar printers aren't that common yet. Yeah, Thor, the King Rune is like 3 something US, 399 US, or 379 US. It's $500 Canadian, which is a pretty good deal in Canada for a Core XY like enclosed printer that runs Clipper. So I'm very excited to mess around with it. Certainly, it's gonna be pretty awesome. But yeah, maybe like next year or something like that, I'll start playing around with polar printers and whatnot. But yeah, I tried to do a little bit early. It's 11 a.m. for me. I'm usually not an early bird, so I tried to make an earlier stream for all of you so that more people could join, and I'll mix it up. I'll do some other streams at different times and whatnot. I definitely have been laxing on the streams lately, so I want to definitely make sure I get those for you guys. Just it's easier to answer questions about like Rook printers and things like that. I'm going to be doing a Rook build once I get my Fabrico kit, so definitely look out for that for sure. Yeah, I would love a Scar printer too. Those are really awesome printers too. So Nick, I actually have my website. It's going to have a single page with all of my printers and their status. I can share a version of it. It's not close to done yet, but there's some really cool stuff that's going to be coming soon. But I have started adding my printers to my webpage. So you'll basically just be able to go to printers and you'll see, are they beta? Are they released? Where's the printables link? All that kind of stuff. It's going to be all the information in one place. But I do appreciate that, Nick. What about adding rotating bed on a Delta? That would be pretty neat too, but I think you already have the 3 axes on the towers. So it might not make any sense, but maybe you can get an extra axes or something. Hey Ryan, welcome. I hope you're sleeping in good condition. Yeah. I've heard some stories about maybe it's not. There's some quality issues and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see. Thanks, Matthew. Really appreciate it. That's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to get more people into 3D printing and take away the elitism of printing, if that makes sense, like the elitist feeling to some printers, right? Like Core XY and cross gantry is going to be next. I want to, give people a lot of choice with cross gantry and stuff like that, and deltas. I have Delta designs coming out this year to get more people into Delta printers as well. So a lot of stuff coming. Oh, nice. Heated chamber patent runs out this year. That's really cool. An IDEX or like a dual tool head printer would be something neat coming up for sure. Yes. Soon as MK1 Rook 180 is done, the Defiant is going on the main stage. I'm going to be wiping the dust off of it. It's literally sitting behind me. I have a Bondtech CHT ready for it. It's got a Rapido on it. It can already do a 16-minute PLA benchy, and I want to start doing some fast benchies with that. I want to put on a Trident bed because it's just running a flimsy glass bed right now. I want to put a 250 Trident bed on there, an AC bed heater, stuff like that. So Robert, a cross gantry printer is what's the best way to explain it? The belt path is much simpler than Core XY. It has 2 motors for X and 2 motors for Y, and it is in a cross pattern. So the linear rails actually make a cross, and that's how they support the tool head. The tool head is supported a little bit more rigidly. They're more expensive because there's a lot more linear rails involved. I'll show off my Defiant a little bit later on the stream if you want. You can see it a little bit better. But the belt path is much better on cross gantry. Working on an UAV spider robot recently. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool, Streetless. Oh, Matthew, thank you very much for the donation. Appreciate it. Yeah, I want to... I've got so many things like in Fusion waiting to be like finalized and released, and some designs and stuff like that. I just need to trim down all of my projects so that I'm just focusing on one project at a time. I've got too many things that are halfway. This SecKit was one of them. I finished it off. It's done. As soon as my PEI spring steel sheet is here, it's gone. Yeah, Annex K3 is a great example. Yeah, Ultimaker does use like a cross gantry. It's a little bit more convoluted because they have like one motor with like a pulley, an idler setup and stuff like that. But it is, yeah, Ultimaker is like cross gantry setup. Annex K3 and my Defiant like do it a little bit more correctly, I guess. Much less bearings and stuff like that involved in the Ultimaker like design. Cantilever printer with a round spinning bit, yeah. Yeah, polar printers are definitely very cool. Look up the Baby Bear. Just Google Baby Bear 3D printer. Really, really awesome printer. Yes, I agree, Scott. RepRap printers are still very, very important, and I want to make sure that there's, you know, a lot of open source designs out there for people who can build stuff with off-the-shelf parts. Yeah, Ultimaker, they're not worth the money. I had an Ultimaker 2. I converted to Clipper. It was a pretty fun printer to mess with, and then, yeah, I got rid of it because maintenance nightmare. So many bearings and stuff you need to lubricate and all that kind of stuff. Will there be different tool? Yes, actually, Matthew. Rook 180 is getting EVA. So Rook 180, I am converting it to EVA 3. You'll hear it first. EVA 3 toolhead basically supports most all common hot ends and extruders. So when someone builds a Rook 180, they can choose whatever they would like. So yeah, number one main goal for Rook 180 MK1 is the EVA 3. It's my table's wobbling. This is like a super wobbly desk. The printer is 100% stout. It's actually just the table shaking around. An S5 at work, they run at 30 millimeters. Yeah, I honestly don't know how Ultimaker's still in business. I'm sure they make all their money from the commercial side of things. I would never spend $6,000 on a printer design that's like 10 years old. Oh yeah. No, I honestly, I mean, they're archaic. Ultimaker and Lulzbot. I don't know how those companies still exist. Maybe even more for Lulzbot. Like, I just really have no clue. So, but yeah, Rook 180 update is going to be EVA toolhead. Hopefully less PLA or less material required for the frame. Frame's going to be easier to print with less supports. Belt tensioning is going to be better. There's going to be no belts in the view on the front of the printer. There's going to be a lot of changes coming to 180, and I'm going to make it all the revisions that I want to make to it, basically. So yeah, Rook 180, I'm excited to start it, but I do need to just finish Fortress. And projects like this, like the SecKit, my FLSun SR, like revision and stuff like that are just like sitting here half done, and I got to get them out the door so that I can start focusing on my stuff more. Yeah, I mean, the commercial support for Ultimaker is probably where they're making all their money, but and right now on the SecKit, I'm running like 5,000 acceleration, 120 millimeters a second, just Orca Slicer defaults. I've recently been starting to use Orca Slicer, and I'm liking it more and more and more. It just makes a lot of sense how it integrates with like Clipper. You can see like the Clipper mainsail directly through Orca Slicer, which is really cool. Yeah, I don't even remember the kits that Lulzbot sold. Like, honestly, their printers, you know, nothing. I'm sure they're a great company and stuff, but like, you know, come up with a Core XY printer or cross gantry printer or something modern. I'm assuming they're great workhorses, and maybe they're very popular in different countries, but they're pretty archaic at this point. Awake, I have a couple ideas for deltas. I'm not going to say a whole lot, but there is going to be a Phoenix version 2, which I've already been working on, with a 2040 frame, much stronger, a little bit smaller, not as excessive as the original Phoenix. And then yes, there is going to be a smaller mini Delta that is going to be coming out. Yeah, Scott, one thing Lulzbot has going for them is their utter simplicity, right? It's just the most bare bones simple printer, and they're most likely reliable, most likely very just slow and reliable printers. I guess very similar to what like the Prusa MK3 before the MK4 came out were, right? Just like dead reliable, slow, basic printers, essentially, with good first layers. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming to my channel this year, to say the least. So definitely make sure that you're subscribed, and make sure that you're watching. You know, every Sunday. I've got a lot of stuff. I plan growing quite a bit this year. We're going to be at 8,000 subscribers probably next week. I would really love to double that, and hopefully get a bigger space. My office is super cramped. I can't really make a lot of great videos and stuff like that. I need better tables so they're not wobbling all around when I'm printing. I want to do some more live stream builds and finish off and get my designs out there a bit more. Yeah, possibly, definitely government contracts and stuff for Lulzbot. I think once Lulzbot gets into like a company and stuff like that, they're there for good, and that's how they make their revenue, which is great for them. But yeah, speed definitely has a cost for sure. If a printer's not well designed, certainly. So another thing when building the SecKit Cube is it's very annoying to assemble the idlers and pulleys for the motion system. just because they use so many nuts, and it's very difficult to get into tight spaces with like the XY gantry and stuff like that. So that was a little bit annoying to assemble, but overall not too bad. I'm glad I built it, and hopefully it's going to be an awesome printer for somebody. But yeah, so far it's working very well. I also, for the new owner, I added a Big Tree Tech touchscreen to it as well. So it's like fully self-contained, kind of ready to go. So I printed a mount here, if I can show it off. So there's a clipper screen mounted there. So much easier for the next owner to actually connect to Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't really know as far as like a team. I thought about doing like Rohan design, like official Rohan design with more people working on printers and stuff like that, but it gets very complicated and convoluted. And then I do want to do this full time. The goal is for eventually, maybe in like 1 or 2 years or something like that, once my channel grows a little bit more, potentially do this full time so that I can make better videos and actually have a better ecosystem for my printers. But there's going to be designs and stuff like that where it's monetized, and it's difficult to, I don't want to have some people working on my printers and then having issues with like splitting the revenue and stuff like that. It's very difficult and complicated to do all that kind of stuff. So Voron's design is more like, yeah, they have a bunch of team members who contribute and stuff like that, but being my YouTube channel is my primary focus and might potentially be my only source of income, it's better for me just to do it myself. Maybe one day I will hire 1 or 2 people as actual employees, and they'll work on designs and stuff like that. But it's definitely very difficult for me to do that. And like I say, if I want to go do this full time, I just want to pay myself a salary and not worry about anyone else and stuff like that. So, but I have big plans eventually to, have my own space, have all my printers like in a row on behind me while I'm recording videos, and being able to actually have proper like cameras and lighting setups and stuff like that. So it's small right now, but I do have plans on growing and making things even better and pushing more rep wrap stuff, pushing out more open source designs. My next printer that's coming out, which is called Panda, is basically going to be an open source take on Bamboo's printer. So inexpensive, very quick, off-the-shelf parts, runs Clipper. I have some cool ideas for it, so that's going to be one of my major releases this year, is going to be that printer, and it's going to completely replace Simple Core. Simple Core is most likely going to be archived, for lack of a better term, and Panda will replace that. But yeah, I guess you could say I am going to focus on more this year and next year is making myself more sustainable, offering better perks on Patreon, that kind of thing, YouTube memberships, stuff like that, so that I can start transitioning over to full-time, hopefully one day. So gonna take it slow and just provide as much content and as much printer designs and knowledge and stuff to the community as I possibly can. I've got Clipper videos coming out this year. I want to do like a refresh on Clipper installs, things like that. My video, one of my most popular videos is my clipper series, my how-to clipper series, and it's like a year old now. I want to make some changes and stuff like that to it. So, and looks like we're just finishing this benchy off. I think these are around 33 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple people know why the bamboo, or why my printer is called Panda, but it's a little bit secret, I guess. Yeah, I've definitely seen enders do 16 minutes pretty easily. That's another thing too, is I want to resurrect my Cappy bed slinger printer, because bed slingers are still cool printers. I definitely want to, you know, have a clipper bed slinger design out there for sure. This SecKit is limited by part cooling, so. Oh, awesome, Griff Gear. Yeah, how did I get that replicator? I bought that replicator off eBay. Oh yeah, I totally forgot. And yeah, converted it to Clipper, and it was definitely a fun build for sure. And yeah, Aaron, pandas eat bamboo. A little joke there for the name of my printer. I only have my Rook 2020, which has now been cannibalized for some stuff. I'm gonna be doing a brand new fresh build on the Rook for my Fabrico kit when it's coming. That's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited to actually get that kit and build it on live stream. That is going to be my permanent Rook that you're going to always see in the background of my videos. That's going to be the staple for all of my video backdrops, I guess. I'm very excited about that one. I appreciate it, Midlife Chaos. Yeah, there's some annoyances I don't like. The audio is crappy on that Clipper series. There's some times in there where like I didn't edit out some things that I should have. I used a main board that didn't have an SD card slot, which is not very common. So like if you're flashing an Ender 3 and stuff like that, the video isn't very relevant to like boards that have SD card slots and how you have to transfer the files and all that kind of stuff. So I want to definitely make a better series on it, simplify series and stuff like that. So, because yeah, I want to get more people into Clipper. And if you look at that build series, like it's, 3 or 4 parts, it looks like it takes multiple days to install Clipper, which your first time is rough, but Clipper, you can install Clipper on a printer relatively quickly, and it's, in my opinion, much better than Marlin. No worries, Joe. Yeah, I try to do a quote-unquote morning live stream for people who can't attend the later ones normally. Color scheme for my Fabrico Rook, I'm assuming is what you mean, Robert. I haven't decided yet. I'm open to some suggestions on a cool color scheme for it. It's going to be a vanilla Rook build, so no mods. It's going to be as intended, just the default MK1 parts. I'm going to use like old school blower fan on it and like crazy stuff like that, like the old MK1. Vanilla is as much as I possibly can. I'm going to make a couple of revisions to like the bed and stuff like that, but that's about it. Yeah, the benchy, honestly, the benchy that this thing comes up with is really, really clean. The camera does not do it justice by far. It's super, super nice. This printer is so rigid. It's really, really great, and I'm really liking the Orca slicer a lot so far. Hello from Spain. Hey, welcome. Awesome. Just finished for the Rook 2020. Excellent. Yeah, I wish I would have got the Rook 2020 out sooner. It's a great addition to the Rook family. It makes a lot of sense. I really like mine. I'm going to be, again, my Rook and my Rook 2020 are going to be printers that are going to always be in the background. They propelled this channel to where it is, and the community has really grown around the Rook. It's still very small, and I think it's going to grow the more kits that come out. West 3D is going to have an awesome kit. The Fabrico kit looks amazing, and yeah, don't worry, the Rook is not going anywhere, and I'm going to be doing even more videos on it. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, it's an okay series, my Clipper how-to series for sure, but yeah, there's definitely some things I could do better, certainly. Yes, 9mm belts for X and Y and for Z on the SecKit Cube. Yeah, that'll be awesome. I'm excited to see your evolution build and issue a serial number. And yeah, the SecKit Cube is a really cool printer. All of his printers are really cool. The Tank, the Cube, and also the Go, which I think he's redoing. He's redoing one of those. I can't remember. I should actually try and look it up here. Which printers does he currently have? Oh, if his site actually is working, it might be down right now. But yeah, the Go was the very first one I seen from Teaching Tech. The Tank is pretty big. I think it's 350 is the default size for the Tank, and the Cube, I guess, is the baby brother to the Tank. But honestly, one of the more unique Core XY printers that are out there, being all stainless steel. It's just a cool look. Very robust, and I think for the money, it's a very good value for laser cut stainless steel frame. Yeah, it looks like the second page is down, the website's down, but yeah, definitely very excited. I'll see if I can show off my Defiant printer for you guys. Some new people might not know about it. It's definitely dusty, but I'll see if I can angle the view here for you guys. My tiny, absolutely messy office is what you're going to get to see, but yeah, that's my cross gantry Defiant right there. So 2040 frame, all MGN 12 linear rails, triple Z. I'm going to be putting a Trident bed on it. It's just got a piece of glass right now. It's got a Rapido. It's going to have a Bondtech CHT hot end. I wanted to just go crazy with fast printing and stuff. And it runs an EVA 3. I modified an EVA 3 for it. So yeah, there's a view of my messy office in Defiant. Oh, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. There's a benefit to printing the frame of the Rook out of PTG. So I did print one of my frames out of PTG. I do not recommend it. I had issues with binding. I do not recommend PTG with the Rook. It's just too... PTG has like almost a ever so slightly soft rubbery kind of thing with it. And it's just not great for the Rook frame. It's okay for smaller mechanical parts, but not the frame. So I'm just using the Drop Effect XG hot end. I didn't actually use the Apis. It wouldn't fit on the SecKit, and it would take way too many modifications. But the XG hot end's pretty good. It's still too expensive, but it's pretty good. Printing the frame for the Rook on MK3, and my colleague looked at it and said, "Why are you printing a Rook?" We spent like an hour talking about printers. That's awesome, Martin. Yeah, even myself, I've gotten like Rook videos on my YouTube feed, and I didn't know anything about them. Like those, I don't think they were on my Discord or anything, and there's people who were just building the Rook. I was just like, that is incredible. It was so awesome to see. Oh, looks like the SecKit website is back. So, yeah, the SecKit Go. I can actually, yeah, 310 is the build size for the SecKit Go, and that's the first SecKit I've seen. Again, very cool printer. A lot of carbon fiber parts on it. Definitely check out his designs. There's some very unique, cool stuff. But yeah, I want to build a Delta very reminiscent of the Rook. I want to make a Delta that helps out those type of printers, just like the Rook helped out Core XY. Like getting more people interested in Core XY and not being afraid to build one and learn about Clipper and just have fun building printers. Hopefully I'll be able to get to that this year. That is, again, one of the big reasons that I want to try and transition to full-time YouTube so that I can actually accomplish all of my designs and stuff like that. Having a full-time job definitely cuts into that. So hopefully I can slowly transition to that and get more mature designs out there quicker for you guys. And like I said in my last video, I want to make sure that I spend more time making videos on printers as they come out. Like the Rook Evolution only has one video on my channel. So I'm going to do some more videos on the Evolution and the Fortress. Make sure people know about those printers and tips and tricks on them and stuff like that. And then the Rook 180 doesn't have many videos either on my channel. Maybe two videos. It's a relatively awesome printer. It's probably the most rigid version of a printed design that I have. The Triple Z is very cool. It's inexpensive, but I only have 2 videos on it. I just assembled the 2 versions of it basically, and that's the only content. I moved on to the next thing. So I definitely want to spend more time on the printers that I'm building and not overshadow them so quickly. So yeah, not much else to say about the SecKit Cube. It was a really fun build. I recommend it if you have the budget for it. It's not cheap, but like I say, it's very similar to a Trident. It is a bit smaller, of course, 200 by 200. The only thing I don't like is it's a weird build size, like actually 200 by 200. I thought it was 220 by 220. That's why I didn't buy a PEI sheet for it. Because I was like, oh, I'll just order one from 3D Hub in Canada or off Amazon or whatever. And then I found out it was 200 by 200 and I had to order one off AliExpress. So I made a mistake that. So if you're going to buy a SecKit Cube, buy it with as many parts included as you possibly can. Get the PEI magnetic build surface for it. That type of thing. I did not get the electronics because I wanted to use an MKS Monster. That's my favorite board for 8 drivers. And I didn't order it with a hot end because the E3D V6 is so old. It's just archaic. So Okay, Rock, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I don't know. I might be wrapping it up by then, but appreciate you popping in for sure. Yeah, my Rook 180 is just chilling with a stack of stuff there. So I've got it stacked up with all sorts of things. See if I can make sure that you guys can see it. But that is the fate of my 180 right now. My K1 spools came in. So I did get my PLA from my K1 pre-order. They're sitting there. And I actually got a Big Tree Tech Pad 7. I haven't opened it yet. I don't know if I can actually do a view to show it, but so Big Tree Tech sent me their Pi Raspberry Pi adapter kind of thing for the CV1, so you can turn it into a Pi. I got that, and then I also got the Pad 7. So I am going to be doing a review on this. So the Big Tree Tech Pad 7, I'm going to compare it to the Sonic Pad. So I haven't even opened this yet. Maybe we can actually open it on stream here. If I can get a camera view, that makes sense. I have no space, table space. Oh, delicious burger. Yes, the MK1. I apologize. The Fortress was not supposed to take this long, but Fortress, I want to make it awesome. So, and Fortress is of course right behind me. No real progress on it, but it is there along with Evolution. They're definitely ready to go. My Evo's, I haven't taken any parts off the Evo. It's printing and it's great. I will do more videos on it as well, I promise. I'm not going to be running out of YouTube content anytime soon. I promise you that. And I'm not going to abandon any printers. Again, the Rook is still going to get more videos. Rook 2020 will have more videos. There will be more Delta content, but yeah, it's just slow going. I definitely have. I've tried a VM install of Clipper, but definitely nothing in the cloud. I don't know. You'd have to pass USB somehow, but I'm sure there's a way. But yeah, Rook 180. I definitely need to incorporate a lot of cool stuff that I learned from it. I stole the bed from it for Fortress, of course, but yes, Aaron, actually, just out of the blue, the owner is going to be posting more stuff on the Evo channel, but yeah, just a serial request came in and I was shocked. Like, fully complete, enclosed and everything. Rook Evo done. Serial number 3. Not quite yet. The bill of materials, I don't think it's going to change a lot, but I just want to make sure I don't have any mistake. Like, I get very close to the end of the assembly and I'm like, oh, geez, I got to increase the size of this. And then someone ordered some parts already. I don't think that's going to happen. A lot of the parts carry over from the Evo, like the linear rail size and stuff like that. It's just I want to make sure the lead screws are the correct size, the bearings work, and all that kind of stuff. Extrusion lengths shouldn't change in size. I'm pretty sure they won't. And they're standard, 300 and 350. But again, I don't want to put a bill of materials out there and then I have to add extrusion or change the size of an extrusion. But all my 2020 base printers always have standard lengths, like 200, 250, 300, 350, no weird sizes. And yes, Joe, I need to give you a number 2 token. I will get that to you this weekend. I seen in the spreadsheet, I had the one, serial number 1 is on there and serial number 3 is on there, and then 2 is just blank for yours, so I have to get you that. Yeah, the Fortress Bomb will be coming very shortly, for sure. Yeah, I totally get it, Canrog. It's definitely very difficult. I had to build two Rook evolutions, um, but luckily I just like scavenged the parts from another one and quickly threw it together. Um, yeah, I wish I had more time to get stuff done. So that's why I focus this week on my SecKit Cube. Just get it done and gone. The project's done. I don't have to worry about it. Hey Rolo, really interested in the Rook. Time the frame would start to deform. I have not heard of anything deforming on the Rook frame. There's no, the Rook is not enclosed. If you're talking about the actual Rook, it's not enclosed and it's not close enough to heat for it to deform. If you're talking about the bed frame, depending on what temperatures you print PLA at on the bed, you might want to print the bed out of PETG would maybe be okay, or if you can try to get someone to print the bed out of ABS or ASA. You can try some tricks though with printing the bed only at 50 degrees. That's totally fine temperature. Use glue stick, or the original Rook never had a printed bed. I just printed on painter's tape. But I have not heard of Rook frames deforming at all because they're not enclosed and they're really only meant to print PLA. Yeah, no, you should have no trouble with the frame deforming with PLA. It's not enclosed. The build plate for Rook 180, I stole it for Fortress. It's sitting behind me for Fortress because they're going to use the same build plate. Having a job interferes with making YouTube content and being in Fusion all day. I wish I could do more CAD stuff. I still have to. This week coming up, my off time is going to be Fusion CAD or Fortress CAD. Just wrapping up Fortress to make sure it's good so that people can get it included with their Evolution purchase. So again, if anyone doesn't know, you get both printers for the price of one on My Mini Factory. You get the Rook Evolution and you get the Fortress, both printers. On the Cube. Oh, yeah. I did not, really dumb. I thought that the build plate size was normal, like 220 by 220. It's actually 200 by 200, and I can't get PEI in Canada that size. I had to order it from AliExpress, so it'll be here Monday. That's why I'm just using tape. But tape is best. See you, Kenrog. Thanks for dropping by. I don't know about flammability for filaments. I think most, other than flame retardant filaments, I think most filaments would have the same flammability. As far as it maybe like melting and burning, but obviously ABS and ASA and stuff would be more resistant maybe. I don't know. As far as like actually catching on fire. But yeah, I have in my office right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 printers in my office right now. My X1 is out in my basement living room, and I have 2 printers on the way. I have a K1 and a King Rune printer on the way. Oh, and I have a Delta. I have a little tiny Delta I'm going to restore in a closet. I have like 10, 11 printers right now, and a huge laser cutter too that I got to review. No, well, there you go. PLA likes fire more than ABS does, which does make sense. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Yes, the bamboo hot end, you buy them in a pack of 3. They're crazy cheap and they're excellent. I'm using them on all future builds. Someone already made a mod for EVA 3 to run a bamboo hot end. It's on printables. So that's, like I say, the Rook 180, I can put in a bamboo hot end on it. But if someone doesn't want the bamboo hot end, it's EVA 3. So you can run a Revo, you can run a Rapido, you can run whatever you want. Yeah, cardboard, I don't know. Cardboard works fine. Just watch it. And yeah, here is I also still have Evo version 1. This is the prototype of Rook Evo. I have no clue what to do with this. It's outdated now. It's an outdated design. So I have no clue what to do with it, but I have all the parts. All the printed parts, that is. And then, yeah, I have a giant laser cutter right behind me that I got to review. And I want to make some Rook panels, like back panels and side panels and all sorts of cool stuff with it. It just, yeah, not enough hours in the day. But for sure, feel free to ask any questions you'd like about any other printers. I do have a Rook 2020 sitting in the floor. Of course, I've got the Evo behind me. You're looking at the Rook 180 right now. I have all the parts for my FL Sun SR Delta, which I'm going to be finishing off and getting rid of that because all the YouTube videos will be done. Yeah, I do agree with you. I'm going to make sure all the versions are like Rook is complete. The Rook series of printers, it's done. I'm not going to be adding any more. So they're always going to be the Rook 2020, Rook Evolution, and then a Rook 180. Those are all my printed designs for that. Not adding any more. But at the same time, I can't really think of one that I would like get rid of to make it not so complicated or like easier for people to figure out what's what. My website will make things a lot clearer. Each Rook has their place right now. Yeah, I don't know what to do with my V1 Evo. Yeah, I should really have like a PLA or a filament recycling thing, certainly. That would be a really cool build, and I could like grind up all my filament and recycle it 100%. That'd be awesome. And yeah, I need to sleep less, and I can build more printers and do more designs and stuff like that. But yeah, I do agree with honing in on like really spending time in making a printer good to the very end and then releasing it. So when I like Fortress, I'm trying to make sure Fortress is like 100%. It's not beta or alpha. It's done. And again, like I say, I'll continue to make videos on it and stuff like that even after it's released, but I want to make sure that it's good to go. I'm cheap, Joe. I'm like super cheap. Um, I the drop effect XG hot end, it probably has more flow than most people are going to need. It's like $100 Canadian. Again, the bamboo hot end is 30. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Wow, 1,500 hours on the Trident. I think I only have like 500 on my Bamboo Lab, maybe 400 or 500, and it's printing almost every day. But again, small parts, small mechanical stuff. Yeah, the Rook lineup is definitely a bit crowded, but if I were to get rid of one, I don't know what I would get rid of because they each are like their own kind of thing. The Rook and Rook 2020 makes sense. One's fully printed and one is 2020 extrusions. The Evo is the enclosed. I think the only 3D printed 3D printer that's enclosed. And then Fortress is like the big brother to the Rook 2020, but enclosable. Technically, Fortress could replace like a Rook 2020, but it's more money, so it's hard to get rid of one. Yes. Creality has way too many Ender 3s. Don't even get me started on that. And again, I do hope my website for beginners and for people who are interested in building a Rook, they'll very clearly see on my website what each Rook is, and they can much easier figure out what printer that they want to build and what the status is and benefits and pros and cons. So I'm hoping my website will clear up a lot of stuff and give people a very clear representation on what printers are released and current and stuff like that. So yeah. But I can't help myself. I just want to try different stuff, different designs, and different types of Z setups and things like that. So, but yeah, that's kind of all I really had as far as you know, things I wanted to cover with the SecKit Cube. It's a great build. I recommend it if anyone has the budget and wants a really robust printer. But yeah, I don't. You can actually see the closed loop steppers right in the top corner there, if it'll focus. So something I didn't know about closed loop steppers, you have to calibrate them. I actually was having a bunch of issues with this printer and trying to print, and I had to calibrate the steppers first, which I've never had to done on closed loop, never had to do on closed loop steppers. But yeah, there's a calibration menu, and you basically calibrate them with without the belts attached. But no, really happy with the SecKit Cube, and hopefully it'll go to a good home and someone can make use of it. Which printer? I've already sold Mitsubishi so many printers. I think he's full. But yeah, I'm selling the SecKit Cube. I don't even have a table to put it on, even if I wanted to keep it. It's blocking my second monitor right now, which is annoying, especially when I'm doing CAD and stuff like that. So that's gone, and then my FL Sun is going to go. Which calibrate which? Clipper is very easy to calibrate, in my opinion. The most things, super easy to calibrate a Delta. Much easier than rep firmware, in my opinion, for sure. No, I don't think Mitsubishi's going to buy the second. I think he's got too much stuff. I'm just going to list it on Facebook Marketplace or whatever and sell it locally. Oh, F263. I've never even heard of that bearing. Finding bearing sizes is so difficult. Oh yeah, the closed loop steppers. No, you just go into the little LCD on the stepper and you just hit calibrate, and it does everything for you. It's actually very easy. The beacon probe is neat. I would definitely try it. Again, it's expensive and I'm cheap. So I don't know if it would be like a standard on any one of my builds, but I'd try it. I might eventually buy one and try it out. I am going to play around with load cell like piezo sensors though for a Z, just like bamboo. I am definitely going to plan on messing with those. I'm going to be selling the SecKit probably for like $900, I think. 980, something like that. I was adding it up in my head earlier, and it's like well over $1,400 printer as you see it right now. It's like $1,100 for the kit. The drop effect hot end is $100. The MKS Monsters $50. I have a Big Tree Tech touchscreen on it, which is another $50 roughly. So that's $1,300 already. Yeah, closed loop steppers have mini OLED screens on them. If I can get a better view on it, maybe this. Yeah, if you can see, it's very difficult to show because I have a terrible camera setup or whatever. But the steppers are actually controlled by a board on the back. Clipper doesn't control them as far as their micro stepping and current and stuff. They're all controlled independently. I can actually put a link maybe. It'd be easier, but yeah. They're really awesome. I like them. I've not had a printer yet where I could really push closed loop steppers to see if they're crazy fast. MKS 42C is what the stepper is. So closed loop, they don't layer shift. They're much quieter and much less vibration than normal steppers. Yeah, they're pretty cheap too, $25 for the board. That's just for the board, the link that I sent. That doesn't include the stepper. I would buy the actual assembled ones, just so you don't have to assemble them yourselves or whatever. But you can add the board to the back of any stepper, as far as I know. So. But yeah, MKS. So $30 Canadian per stepper. They're definitely a little bit more expensive, but they're very, very nice and they're very smooth. But that's about all I had for today's live stream. I just wanted to have the conclusion of the SecKit Cube because I had 2 build live streams on it. Yeah, AC steppers would be really neat, Canrog. I'll maybe try them on Panda, because Simple Core is basically going to be archived. Or no further progress on it, I should say. Yes, the driver is on the back of the motor. So there are no drivers on the Monster. It's just like some adapters that go into the driver slot. Yeah, it'd be cool if Nero built a Rook on stream. That'd be awesome. This printer is limited by layer cooling, so it's 30-minute benchy. So Definitely not limitation of the printer in any way. It's just the part cooling on this printer is geared toward ABS and stuff like that. It doesn't have great PLA cooling. So that's about as fast as I can get. Yeah, I really don't know if you added a like closed loop board onto the back of like just a garbage stepper if it would work. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm gonna hopefully try to do more live streams, at least 2 a month would be nice, I think. It's easier, it's nice to just chat with people and not responding via comments because it's easier to answer questions and things like that. But definitely look out to my Rook live stream build coming for sure. Um, I'm definitely excited to build the Fabrico Rook. We'll do some crazy stuff. The Rook is probably the best option for budget build, for sure. If you want a DIY starting from scratch. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate all the people who stopped by, and yeah, I'm super excited to show off the Fabrico kit. There will be a live stream building a Rook. I'm open to suggestions on color schemes for the Rook. But yeah, thanks again, everyone, for stopping by. I will end the live stream here, and I'll be on Discord for a little bit probably. Definitely, if anyone's not on the Discord, definitely join. It's an awesome, very helpful community. I promise I will do more videos on my current printers and slow down on stuff so that there's just not as many designs rushing out the door. But yeah, appreciate it, everyone, and I'll catch you all on the Discord.